On to the Twitter questions. Anthony asks, could you imagine if the Hornets had Mitchell Robinson? Are we a certified average team? If you think, I'm going to take this one just because if you think Mitchell Robinson is going to be the answer to a lot of what's ailing Charlotte, I'd probably push back. He's not a good enough rebounder, I think, to fix what's gone on with them. And yeah, he'd help the interior defense. I will also argue that they are still not in the bottom 10 of points allowed per possession. When you look at their personnel, their center rotation, that's overachieving. So maybe Mitchell Robinson makes you a lot better, but that might be the way to phrase it, is how Anthony said, yeah, you might be a certified average defense. The difference between ranking 20th and 16th or something.
I will say, during one of the earlier questions from this mailbag, though, I couldn't help but think about Rudy Gobert in Charlotte. How do you feel about that fit?
I think it would work. I'd be curious to see how he plays if up tempo with LaMelo there.
It would be a change of pace, quite literally.
You giving up Gordon Hayward reunion in Utah to get him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Rebuild around Gordon Hayward in Utah.
So
but I kind of like that pairing. If you can do that while retaining Miles Bridges, a LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, Rudy Gobert trio is fun.
You have to, there's no way you're getting out of that deal without giving up. Because what is it, Book Night, PJ Washington, and then every single pick and swap that you're eligible to trade?
Exactly.
Which, by the way, you're not going to have a lot of picks to trade unless the one to New York, or now it's owed to Atlanta. That fucking Cam Reddish trade was a disaster. I know he was playing better before he got injured, but that Cam Reddish trade was, by basketball standards, a catastrophe. That pick is not going to convey. Should be murky. The one thing that's a good point here, aside from Rudy Gobert being a quality fit, is I could see teams worrying about his contract. $38.2 million next year, $41 million the year after that, $43.8 the year after that, and then a $46.7 million player option. Because during this span, you're going to get 2 more years of LaMelo on his rookie scale.
Right.
Not super cheap, but super cheap relative to what he could cost you. And then the max that he signs is going to be his first max. So you're not dealing with a veteran max necessarily. Charlotte might be the team that could talk itself into not worrying about Rudy Gobert's contract, because their team doesn't have to be mega expensive, is my point, until the final 2 years of his deal. So food for thought. I just don't know if they can build. Do you think they could build a package enticing enough? If, let's just say, Utah's willing to move Gobert after the season, do you think Charlotte, without LaMelo, has the assets necessary to peak? If the Jazz still want to win, and you're dangling.
It really depends on the motivation that the Jazz have in blowing. Are they blowing it up, or are they like trying to fix things around Donovan Mitchell with a different lineup construction? If it's the latter,
you need a third team.
Probably not. Yeah.
And it's just like, even if it's not, Terry Rozier, James Bouknight, Kai Jones, PJ Washington, like those are, if you're Utah, you probably want Miles Bridges as part of that deal. That would be I
think you're pushing for him to be included for sure.
And it would have to be a sign and trade, so he would want to have to go to Utah as well. Which is just pointing that out. I'm not inferring anything.